Marvel Talk, the second of the week. We, of course, have me, OLED, Ed Fries. We have Andre, 2/3 Fluffy C over there, who really should be called Simp 1 and Simp 2 for this show, because that's really what we are. But speaking of that, Peggy has some thoughts. And before we get to this, we have a special thing that even Andre doesn't know. Andre hasn't.
All right, I'm started already. Okay, it's okay.
Andre hasn't seen this yet, so we'll do this first.
I'm
we'll
scared.
Move that, and then boom.
Oh, okay.
All right, we're starting with this, I guess. First of all, I want to say you guys did a really, really good job on the Supergirl review, and I was sorry that I haven't been here. I still have not seen the movie, not for lack of wanting to see it, but for lack of time. That being said, there was a whole bunch of idiots in your comments. All the dummies that came out of the woodwork who probably have not even seen the movie and just want to rant for the sake of being a strong woman lead. And I will say that. Now, for all the idiots, go touch grass. Get a hobby. Get a life. Kiss somebody. Have a snack. Have a nap. Do something with your life. You are not getting paid to hate on videos. You are not getting paid to hate on anything on the internet. Walk away. You don't need to love it. You don't need to comment on it.
I'll unmute me and Andre now.
Yeah. I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
because
10 out of 10
yeah,
notes.
we got some shit comments on our the short that dropped from our Supergirl video, and I'm just like, okay, hate on it what you want. One of them called me and Ed a simp. Called us simps for Cara Millie Alcock. But like it just we liked something. We liked something. Who cares? Just deal with it.
Yeah.
We liked something. I like liking things because liking things is fun and makes me happy.
Yeah.
Not liking things makes me angry and bitter and resentful. So trust me, you want me happy, not bitter and resentful.
Yeah.
Like the rest of y'all, I guess. Like the rest of y'all out there.
Just wow. Hey, JD.
I was just saying, speaking of liking things, hello. For the first time, Marvel Talk is indeed live on Peggy's Twitch. This is going to be something going forward. I've not wanted to do it when Peggy's not here because it seemed weird to do it on Peggy's channel and have people coming in and going, "Where's Peggy?"
Yeah, so the first time Marvel Talk is on my Twitch. It's not the first time OLE has been on my Twitch because Bobby and I did the Star Wars Mandalorian movie over there. So.
Yeah. I bullied all my friends for liking things. That's just who I am. But like, I like liking things. We all like liking things.
Speaking of things that we all like, let's go ahead. I think we all like it and talk about X-Men 97 Season 2. We've had the first 3 episodes, which is Days of Past Future, A Force to be Reckoned With, and Rise of Apocalypse, which is going to be a 2-part series, which will also drop part 2 of next week.
Yes.
We'll talk about the rest of the episode titles that we have had confirmed for us. They're rumored to be confirmed later. But let's go ahead and start. Peggy, you've had a bit of a chance to talk, so we're going to go ahead and let Andre talk for a bit here. Because we did give you the Empress address. And if any of you missed the Empress's address, please rewind the show back to the beginning. If you need to do that, the YouTube channel, Our Local Establishment, will have that right there that you can go ahead and do. Yes,
probably make it short.
By the way, I can talk to Bobby about making it a short. I'm sure we can package it as like the suggested short that goes with the review. So
it should also be the new video that is like my intro on my Twitch channel. You want to know anything about Peggy? Here you go.
Andre, let's go ahead and give non-spoilery reviews so far of the things that we enjoyed for the first 3 episodes, and then we'll go into more spoilery stuff as we go.
X-Force. It's right there on the screen, so I can yell it. Dude, the first episode I was kind of confused by because I figured we were picking up kind of where we were left off, But again, they did some time jumps and stuff. They did some time jumps, and like everything's kind of progressed, obviously, in the time we've been gone. But I thought a good, strong first episode, but that second episode, the X-Force episode, oh, the X-Force versus X Factor, I'm all in, man. I am all in. And then episode 3, I think of the 3, it was my least favorite, but it was still good. I still enjoyed it. I still think it was a good episode. I think maybe because we don't have the rest of it yet, maybe I'll like it more once I kind of have its back half. I'll as a whole, I think I'm going to like it more as a whole than just as its half story. So.
Yeah, I had a bunch of fun with all of these as a whole. I have my favorite portions of these, and we'll get into that as we go. But no, I really enjoy episode 1. I thought that was a strong episode for me. I really enjoyed the setting of the stage and going back to the future sort of kind of thing because we've done Days of Future Past. So I like the fact that we're kind of playing off of that here with Days of Past Future. I'm a sucker for Bishop. I think Bishop is a really cool character that can get a lot of cool things done. So having him in the beginning and then transitioning to Forge, which will play a huge role as we talk about some of the other episodes and some of the things we've got coming up, I think is very important because I like Forge as a character. If he can conceive it, he can build it kind of thing. Helps you tie up some logic gaps with this. Yeah, it's a bit of a Deus Ex Machina power for Forge to be able to just be like, I can conceive, therefore I can create types of things. But it helps you with...
To that point, without Bishop, he would have never been able to conceive it without Bishop's help. You know what I mean? Because Bishop literally is giving him the inspiration to create these time travel things. So I think...
No. Well, you got to remember, Forge... But yes, I agree. But I'm also saying that the idea that whatever problem we have that we need a machine for, Forge having the power of, if I can conceive the idea, I can create the idea, gives you a little bit of an easy out, so to speak, with just being able to pull the thing I need to make the story work, which is fine. It's good. It's what you should do in comics to not have logic holes. But I'll just say right here, my favorite episode is absolutely by far and away Rise of the Apocalypse. I am a sucker for En Sabah Nur as a character. I think there's a lot of fun to be had with ancient Egypt and with the beginnings of the Apocalypse character. And it's the one spot that I think worked for the X-Men Apocalypse movie that they did. I think the fact that Apocalypse was very En Sabah Nur more than it was old age Apocalypse at the height of his power kind of thing, I think was a really cool idea. And that's why I think I gravitate here towards that episode. And again, we'll talk more about that when we get into spoilers. But I think that's where I lie with this. And looking at some of the other things, there's definitely some fun to be had coming forward with some of these episodes. Peggy?
I am sort of split on episode 3, mostly because when I went into it, so I watched the first 2 episodes and then the next day I watched the third one and I didn't realize it was a part 1. And I was like, oh, now that I know it's a part 1, it feels like I might have a different opinion of it once I see part 2. So, I mean, I liked what I saw, obviously. I think my favorite episode so far has been, if I say the family reunification episode, like, do you know what I mean? So I think that, was that the first one or the second one? I kind of lose track for every once in a while. You are muted. Okay, it's the first one. Okay. Yeah. So that I think was my favorite for that reason. Yeah. So I do think they hit the ground running, and I think they did a good job of reminding you some of the things that happened last season, which was really helpful for me because that was 2 years ago. Like,
yeah. The previously ons for all 3 of these episodes were fucking fantastic. Like, sometimes they feel unnecessary, but with this one, for some reason, they all just really work. And I think part of it is the different characters doing the previously ons. Like, in episode 1, it's Jean Grey. In episode 2, it's Cable and Jubilee, I believe, as part of it too. And in episode 3, I forget who does episode 3, but again, they're vitally important because they refocus you on what the people doing the show want you to realize what you're looking into. And it helps you reorient what happened last to these are the small things you need to remember. And then the other cool thing is the Newton brothers have done apparently 8 different versions of the theme music for this show. Apparently, they have apparently confirmed to insiders 8 different versions of the theme music have been created. So that means we're going to be getting different themes going forward, like in episode 2, where we get an X-Force directed type of opening. All of the openings this season were geared towards whichever characters were going to be in the episode. So in episode 1, it was geared towards the past. So we had all of the characters who were going to be in the episode there. So we didn't see, it was geared towards the future. So we didn't have Professor X. We didn't have Magneto. We didn't have all of those other people. We just had Wolverine, Storm, Jean, Cyclops, people like that. There's some really fun and cool, interesting things to be done with that. We're going to... Oh, hello, Bobby! Thank you for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. We did start the show talking about the short, so if you haven't seen that, Bobby, there's a clip we need you to pull that we'll talk to you about after the show. I'll send you a message with the timestamps we need for that, because we're going to need a short pulled and have it attached to the previous short that we had for Marvel Talk, because they do go hand in hand. Andre, try to work on your mic again for a second if you get a chance.
I haven't even done anything to it.
I know. I maybe it's just me, but I can hear it. So maybe it's my microphone, but I don't know if it's.
I'm like trying to stay away from it. Maybe I tapped it. I'm sorry. I apologize.
No, you're good.
I think sometimes it's just static.
Now.
Like it's just sometimes it's just being weird.
Yeah.
We are now going to move to the spoilery portion of our show. So that means I need this banner that I had to re-pull up for the Supergirl thing.
I did love without spoilery, this is not spoilery off the top of the head, but we were talking about, I didn't realize, well, I knew the music was different in the episodes that we heard, and I knew that the opening was different in the episodes that we saw, because, which is good. Like, let's just give me a refresher of who I need to pay attention to. Also, I love the music. It's just one of those ones, as soon as you hear it, you're like, yeah. So I'm really excited that it's not just the first couple of episodes that had different openings.
Yeah, and they did this in the first season too, where they were adding people in and out depending on who was going to be in the episode, and if Forge was going to be there or Bishop was going to be there, they would have them in the intro to kind of help do it. We're going to go kind of episode by episode, kind of focusing on different portions of the things. I'll start with Days of Past Future because, like I said, actually, we'll have Peggy start with this one because this was
Peggy's favorite episode.
I was going to say, I thought it was mine. I'm like, no, wait, this isn't mine. This is Peggy's. Peggy, go ahead and talk about the past.
Yeah. Well, I mean, is it the past?
The future past.
You're the past, bro.
I think they opened up exactly where they should have, where they start talking about the family connection and whether they should actually tell him that they're his parents and do you know what I mean? I think there was just such a overlying, I don't know which way you want to say it, heartstring pull there, where, doing the right thing versus doing what you want to do. So trying to follow your head or your heart kind of thing. And I thought that was a really nice way to kick off a series that clearly is going to be a lot more, have bigger moments and more dramatic moments. So I think having that simplicity and that softness and that real X-Men are family, which is something that's always been such a big part of the X-Men. So I think that's the one part that really stuck out to me in the first episode, and it kind of set the tone for me for what the season's going to be, where it's all about protecting your loved ones, whether that's chosen or by blood.
Andre?
I thought, again, episode 1, I thought was really, it was fun. Again, I was kind of thrown off at first because, again, I was expecting one thing going into this, but then it took me to different, and I realized, we're not just dropping in where season 1 ended. There's some time in here. like in the past, the present, and the future, stuff has been happening. And I like the kind of cool world that Apocalypse has really overrun here. Again, the family aspect didn't. I kind of found that was like the least portion of me. I love my family, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't the point that was pulling me in. I was seeing Mother Ascani there, and I don't know if we want to talk about who Mother Ascani is.
Oh, I'm gonna talk about it in a moment. So if you want to, go ahead.
With it being Rachel Summers, like a future version of Rachel Summers here, I really like that it kind of her, and she kind of reveals herself, like doesn't reveal herself as Rachel Summers completely, but kind of starts revealing her motivations throughout the episode, which was really cool, and kind of her kind of being in control that brought the X-Men to where they are, but not in control at the same time, because you can only do so much. Still fulfill their destiny, and they can all screw it up at the same time. So I quite like that. I like the Ascani story.
Yeah, Mother Ascani is a fun one for me. I agree. I noticed I was watching her very carefully because of the fact that I know who Mother Ascani is in the comics, and I'm curious if they're going to go that route, because that's a very intriguing proposition, especially with a cool little visual point that they have in this episode. And I'll credit New Rockstar. Yes, the eyes. Andre says
like you're talking, and that's without seeing reading anybody else's stuff. I saw the eyes.
Yeah. At one point, Mother Ascani, when she's talking to Storm about her powers and whatnot, she has a flash of a phoenix in her eyes. Rachel Summers is one of the few beings who has possessed the phoenix in the comics in her past. So the idea that she is currently channeling the phoenix right now, and that was part of what she used to be able to pull the X-Men to this time, and to be able to split them up in such a specific way, to send the right X-Men to one area and the right X-Men to another area, I think is really cool. The other thing I want to talk about with this that I thought was really fun and interesting is the continuity remembrance of, in the X-Men's base, they have the metal adamantium bone structure of Wolverine in the tube. And Wolverine then, in the episode, using his original bone claws as a weaponry. It's a small detail that could have been forgotten, and most people might not have picked up on it. And I love that these people who are doing this are remembering these things. And
I have a question to that, because I don't remember him losing his adamantium, but maybe I just...
Magneto ripped it out at the end of the remember they had the splash page from the comic book of Magneto ripping the adamantium right out of Wolverine when they had the final battle between Magneto and the X-Men.
Oh, I completely forgot about that. That's why I was wondering, like, why is he rocking bone claws? So,
yeah. It's episode, what is it, 8, I believe it is. It's the one right before the finale.
Yeah, it was the second to last one. Yeah, because when I saw the bone claws too, I was like, wait a minute, and then I was like, did I miss something? And then I'm like, oh my god, yeah, I remember that now, because like I said, it's been 2 years since we saw the last season. So
pulling out all of, Jamie indeed pulling out all of the X-Men things. You ain't seen nothing yet. This is a really well done opening. I love the Ascani-san, and I love the whole thing here with Scott and Jean being able to go into the future that they sent their son to, knowing what he's going to turn out to be, and having that foreknowledge. Like, imagine being able to live your life and raise your children with the foreknowledge of knowing where they're going to end up, with the foreknowledge of knowing not how they get there, but where they end up in terms of in their personality, and that they get there at all, and being able to kind of use that to be able to help channel who they are and what they are, to not necessarily change them, but to tweak what you've seen and to go, there's a way to make this better for them. So to know that this is their child, and to know that this is Nathan, who's going to end up becoming Cable, and to have that opportunity to really get to know him as a child and to see him it's such an amazing opportunity for Scott and Jean that I think is fun to have. And again, it makes so much sense for the way that these characters are being written and the way that they're focusing on these characters to have that moment. And again, like Andre says, he doesn't feel the family dynamic in the same way. Whereas like I feel it, especially for Scott, you know, having a child who wasn't always there in your life and having to be able to see it and raising the child in a different way. It's a special place for me, being like, this is a cool moment to see him being able to have that opportunity where his son is grown, but he knows where he goes and he knows how to get there, and to have that ability to just really dive into it, to have Jean teaching him how to use his psychic abilities, to see him getting ship, which we've already seen in the show about how that works and how he can utilize that in the future. It's really cool to see and to set him on the path of, if you're going to be the one to supposedly defeat Apocalypse, that's great. Stories are stories, that's fine. But remember, you got to do this for you and you got to do it the right way. And making Nathan a true X-Men as opposed to just the bringer of the downfall of Apocalypse. It's just very well done. And then, of course, the cute line of Apocalypse that we've seen in the ads for this, I'll strike the X-Men, you know, where they're their weakest, in the 90s. And I'm like, bitch, I don't know if you've seen it, Apocalypse, but the 2010s were real bad for the X-Men. I think you can probably hit the 2010s, because there were some rough periods in the 2010s for the X-Men too.
Very true. Very true.
With the exception of Days of Future Past and X-Men First Class.
And X-Force. And Deadpool's X-Force. I guess they did well.
Well, they did well. They just didn't test well. As we go with Wade.
Well, Deadpool and his team were successul.
Sort of. Depends on
the movies are successful. They're the most successful parts of Fox Marvel in the 2010s.
No, I agree with that phase. I'm just trying to figure out if the X-Force were successful, since they all died.
Not all.
With the exception of Domino.
Domino survived. Deadpool survived. Peter survives.
Peter's not really part of X-Force as much as
he is so part of X-Force. he is the best part of X-Force. He is the mascot for X-Force, for that X-Force.
He's the mascot. I'll agree with that.
The mascot's part of the team.
No.
Yes.
No. Peggy's like, I don't have a dog in this fight.
I do. Peter rules.
She's on my side. 2-1. Let's go.
I mean,
no. I agree.
Soft,
I agree. Peter rules. I'm just challenging the fact that I consider him part of X-Force.
He jumped out of the plane. He's part of X-Force.
He believes he's part of X-Force, so therefore he is.
I believe I'm part of the New England Patriots. It doesn't make it so.
Congratulations. How much do you make this year?
The same amount I made last year. The same amount that I made the year before that.
Good deal.
I'm a smart man, smart businessman.
Or chat.
Anyways. No, Jamie agrees, which is fine. I mean, I'm not used. I'm used to being wrong. I work with Ash Bizarro on a fairly weekly basis, so I'm used to being wrong.
That's true. That's very true.
Any last thoughts on Emmett Unamura's and directed episode here, written by Brad Ford Sullivan? No?
I don't think so.
All right, we're going to move on to episode 2, A Force, X-Force, to be reckoned with. Also directed by Emmett Unamura, but this time written by Anthony Salidi and Mariah Wilson. This is a fun episode because I like how this works, where we have the future, the present, and the past in our first 3 episodes. We set the place of all the characters and everybody and what they're doing and where they are.
Yeah.
What I love most about this, in addition to the X-Force, is I love being introduced to X-Factor again. Because X-Factor is such a unique, different version of the X-Men, because they are indeed a governmental force of mutants working to help the government. And that's such a unique position because they feel like they're doing right, but they know they're doing wrong too. Like, and again, I'm going to let you guys talk about this, and then I'll give my opinion because, like I said, I want to talk a lot about Rise of the Apocalypse as well. But Andre, go ahead and give your thoughts on A Force to Be Reckoned With.
I quite like this one. Again, I'm Jubilee really in the 90s. Like Jubilee was always our veil to look through in the 90s one, and I think they really took her character last year or 2 years ago and evolved the character because she had like was one of my least favorite episodes was the two Jubilees together, but everything you did with Jubilee throughout the series really helped to evolve the character and kind of learning and growing through that series, kind of going from the kid we all looked through, like you looked through their eyes in the 90s to kind of being kind of growing up like we all have since the 90s. Most of us have, at least. But at least somewhat. At least somewhat. But and you seeing her here, like and her with Sunspot, and they're figuring their stuff out, and then they get recruited, but they're recruited by Cable into X-Force, and then the X-Force opening happening, and I literally it started. I pressed skip intro because I usually skip intros because again I'm not, and then it jumps to it shows the X-Force 97 logo, and I'm like, rewind. I jumped back so I could watch the whole thing. Not really, like I think it was just gonna be the standard X-Men intro, right? But no, it's the X-Force intro, and I'm like, this is amazing. And then you get the intro of X Factor in the episode, or the reintroduction of X Factor. And again, I love Havoc. I think my favorite version of Havoc is the X-Men Evolution version, when he's the younger, when they portray him as the younger brother of Cyclops, not the older brother. And I agree, and I made sure not, and I didn't skip episode 3 because I'm like, okay, each one of these is going to be different. I need to pay attention to these. Mm-hmm. But no, and just seeing again, I loved like X Factor chasing X Force through in this episode, Jubilee getting captured, and then Polaris kind of making the face turn. She's not really a bad guy, but she's kind of the bad guy. So she's trying to turn, and with Jubilee kind of being like, you were a team. Now you can help me out here, and helping her out, and then again, just Jubilee's whole run saving everybody in that prison, I thought was so cool. Because again, you've shown how she's evolved so much here, and just to be able to, and getting lucky a couple times because she got saved by your team. But like, I thought just really fun episode. And again, this is the kind of X-Men I really love. Like, just give me the stuff in the current present day. That's one of my favorite stuff. I'm ready for everything else. But I don't know. I like this stuff. And again, I think Cable's badass. He's one of my. He's a top character. And again, I really like X Factor because again, I'm a big Alex Summers fan, and Polaris is dope as hell. And I will say this: when Multiple Man showed up the first time, I was like, "Wait, Gambit's back?" Because again, it just didn't register to me at first because I forgot Multiple Man looks very much like Gambit with the long coat and everything. It threw me off. I'm like, wait, and I'm like, no, and then he started to multiply. Oh, so I'm like, Multiple Man. It's not Gambit, but it threw me off at first. You know what I mean? Because again, they're animated similarly, so it threw me off. I'm like, is Gambit back? What the hell? Like, from all rumors, Gambit's coming back in the season at some point. But I thought it was like, this is the most underwhelming in episode 8. Like, this is the most underwhelming Gambit return is what I thought, and then it's like, it's Multiple Man. Okay. But yeah, I thought just it was really fun, like a really fun kind of showing Sunspot and Jubilee both evolving to both, because again, when they introduced Sunspot in the last season, he was very much a kid trying not to drown in all of it. You know what I mean? Where now he's confident, he's got his super suit, he's ready to go, he knows what he's doing, and I think just, and then Psylocke. Awesome. Archangel, awesome. And I love that I didn't know a lot about Psylocke Because I only really ever knew her for her swords and stuff, but I didn't realize she had this like the psychic abilities that she has, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. That's really actually cool. They do have a psychic on their team now. I quite enjoyed this episode.
There's always going to be a psychic on every X-Men team in every some form of fashion. Just so we're clear, there will always be a psychic because they keep them in droves. Because we even see Gen X in this episode, which I think is fun. Generation X is also in this episode with the kids who were running towards Xavier's place, and we see them throughout the episode, including video of Chamber being kidnapped. And I knew it was Chamber solely because I play Marvel Snap, and he's one of the cards that's included in there, so I recognize the artwork to see the character. I do love the X Factor group as a whole. There's a fun tie to them with everything. On top of the fact that Forge is the real leader of this group, because when he talks about having worked for the government and creating things for the government, that's what he means. Is that he was the leader of X Factor in the original X-Men series. Yes, Jamie, I am indeed, as Gallows would say, a nerd. But no, Polaris is great. I love having her here. Alex Summers is always so much fun because he even does the Scott Summers line of when they're coming up and trying to take the kids. Don't worry, we're the good guys. Which is the same thing Scott said when he was asked by Sunspot in the first season of X-Men 97. So I love how the brothers continue to do this little mirror effect that they always do, even though in this one they're brothers who don't realize that they were never raised together, unlike in a lot of other versions of the two characters where they are raised by the same parents and it's just, two different directions. Multiple Man was fantastic. I love the reveal of him just being in multiple places in the forest all at once. My favorite little add to this is always seeing Rain Sinclair's Wolfsbane. It's such an underutilized character in the X-Men lore that I think could be really fun. Because I just love seeing werewolf-like creatures in my Marvel shows. I just think that there's a whole bunch of fun to be had with having people like that. Strong Guy is here because he's Strong Guy. Got to have the big burly buff dude at some point during the show. So also with the greatest of names, Guido Carso. Just Guido. Of course for some reason he's a Guido. It just for some reason fits. I don't know why, but it does. Seems like a guy who'd be living on the Jersey Shore. No,
you would know best out of all of us, bud.
I would. It is just a few hours down the road. But no, I think this episode is a bunch of fun. I really enjoy this. Polaris is such an interesting character because of the routes they can take with this, especially when Daddy comes home. When Magneto gets back to find out that she's still working with the government. Like, I think there's a real thing to be mined from that, especially working with Val Cooper. Working under Val Cooper and having Polaris as a part of X Factor is just a really interesting vibe that we could have. Especially where Magneto's going to be when he comes back, because he's going to be in such a different place coming out of episode 3 after what happens. I think that it's really going to be interesting. Well, sorry, Jamie. We can create a clip of it so that you can have it on your channel so that Peggy can just drop it whenever she needs to annoy Jamie.
It's your new ringtone.
Yeah. Peggy?
So yeah, episode 2, I love Jubilee. Like, I really do. I think the fact that they refuse to compromise their moral compass, regardless of who they're actually working for, is something that I've always sort of loved about the character. I was very sad to see all the children locked up. Again, I'm very soft. It doesn't surprise anybody. I don't know who most of the characters were that we saw in the I don't want to say the prison cells, but you know what I mean. But as a quick look online implied that most of them if you are a fan of the comics, you would know who they were. And I don't know who the tiny alien was, but I'm obsessed.
I honestly
again,
don't have an answer for that one. So
no, I did see it earlier today when I looked. They had a name, and they were like, apparently this character was introduced in like way back and has stuck around through many generations of comics. So yeah, absolutely obsessed. So sorry, I was trying to make notes in my head when you guys were talking. So yeah, absolutely love Jubilee. Their power is just like literal magic when you look at it on the screen. I think it's pure chaos, and I love that. And yeah, there's something just sweet about them. I
Peggy,
think
is this who you're thinking of? Hold on. Is the screen up? No, here you go. Add to screen.
no.
Oh, okay.
The tiny little girl alien.
Okay.
There's also, we were talking about Gambit there briefly. There was a lot of Gambit in this first 3 episodes where you sort of see how what happens to Gambit is still sticking with a lot of the characters. You have a lot of conversations and thoughts, and I think it might have been episode 3 here where we see them looking into the empty casket, or not empty casket, but we don't see who's actually in it. So there's a lot of nods there that I mean, Ed already said coming back. One of the titles implies that they're coming back as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, episode 8 is Dead Man's Hand.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. So yeah, but you definitely see Gambit's, I don't want to say influence, but the relationships that Gambit had with all the other characters sort of playing into little things here and there as well.
Yeah. This is I say lock up all the children. Yeah.
I say weaponize. I'm with. I like Melball's theme of weaponizing the children. So that's where I follow the Melball route.
Oh, goodness gracious. Well, we'll move on to episode 3, Rise of Apocalypse Part 1, where I thoroughly get my enjoyment out of this episode, where we have the X-Men of the past, and we have them talking to En Sabah Nur, who is the first mutant. And I love this because this is the opportunity that they have to change the course of history. This is the opportunity they have to make everything better. And for some reason, Magneto is chosen as the one to do this. Mostly because Magneto decided to do it himself.
Because if I think of anybody who has the cleanest moral compass and the best person to guide any sort of goodness and positive outcome, Magneto is always my first choice.
Yeah, because
that's why Charles left him in charge.
The little alien girl, her name is Maggie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very good to know. I do love the En Sabah Nur character of this Egyptian who's trying to overthrow the pharaoh, who, by the way, really cool Rama Tut. So Marvel still gets to do a little bit of Rama Tut things here by having him in animated, where they don't have to have Jonathan Majors dealing with it, and they can do a little bit of Rama Tut here, which I think is fun. Which is why they can't get any of his machinery to work, because it's from so far in the future that it's even in Apocalypse's future, I would believe then, because I think Nathan Richards is even further in the future than Apocalypse, if I remember correctly.
Because Apocalypse is 3,800 somewhere AC, I think.
I know the BC is 3,900 BC. I forget exactly how far in the future Days of Past Future.
3960 is. I'm just looking it up. 3960.
Okay. All right. So he's not as far ahead as Apocalypse, but Nathan Richards is still light years ahead of anything that the X-Men have dealt with.
But again, Nathan Richards has also been jumping through time, so he's probably gone ahead, gotten even more technology, and has been done so many different things too. You got to remember that. So
I'm not sure what Jamie heard very differently, but it is what it is. It might be the weaponizing of the children. Who knows? I love this for all the sheer fun that it can be, with Magneto doing a really good job of trying to channel En Sabah Nur's hatred as the way. Oh, Ramatuk. I'm thinking Ramatuk. You know, I'm adding CK to things now as opposed to TT because of the fact of the Millie Alcock thing. So maybe that's why. No, I love the way Magneto was trying to mold En Sabah Nur to the same kind of Brotherhood of Mutant style that he lives by. And it turns on him because he doesn't just admit to everything outright. And when it finally comes out, he just turns into basically he becomes Apocalypse in that moment. And Magneto's the reason. And that's so great because it's going to. The one thing Magneto always had was the fact that he could try to make people understand his point of view. And to have lost the opportunity here and know that it's only his fault because it's not Charles's fault. It's not, anybody else's fault. Nobody else is involved in making En Sabah Nur realize this except Magneto. And so it all lays at his feet. And the way that this could alter the future of these episodes, it's just so fun and interesting, and I really enjoy it. So, and again, Ancient Egypt is a thing of mine. I really enjoy Ancient Egypt. I really enjoy the way this looks. And seeing Apocalypse outside of the armor and seeing him just as a dude is always so much better than the creepy, weird, futuristic version where he's, in all the armor that's behind Andre. Miss Peggy.
I loved seeing a little flash of Thor. In this episode. It really threw me for a loop, and I had to pause it and think that I fell asleep or something and missed that Thor is now in the episode and that I didn't see it. And then I realized it was Morph, right? Yeah, Morph.
Yep.
So that was kind of fun. I thought it was a really great battle sequence in this as well, considering it's part 1 of 2. Normally, when you get a 2-part episode, the first one is setting it up for the big fight in part 2. So I'm really curious where part 2 is going to go. But yeah, I agree. The person doing the voice of Apocalypse is Adete Combo, and there's something about him that is so charismatic and menacing at the same time. And I don't know how to describe it, but I was sitting listening to him and I was just like, I don't know if I want to follow you or be terrified like that I should run away here, because there's something that when you get a villain that is so charismatic, sometimes you root for the villain. That's just the way it is, right? So, and I think that's one of the reasons that Apocalypse is such a good villain in the universe. Why are you the way you are?
I mean, I think he's just saddened for the Canadians' loss in the World Cup, maybe. I know he's Australian, but I'm sure he's still saddened by that. Is Australia still in?
No, Socceroos are gone.
Oh, okay. So wait. So we're the last of the 3 of us standing somehow?
Mexico's still standing.
Yes, but none of us are from Mexico.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the host countries. Okay.
Only day 1 of this round. You guys will probably not make it out of this round either. So.
God, I hope not. But if we beat Belgium, do you understand how bad things get for us if we happen to somehow find a way to beat Belgium? Like we get
USA to win, so
let's look at it this way. We either get Spain or Portugal, if I read the bracket right, if we win this. So it's like it doesn't matter if we win or we lose. We're not winning another game after this anyways. So it is what it is.
True.
Andre, let's go ahead and give your thoughts on the Rise of Apocalypse Part 1.
Oh, I thought we were talking footy. Kidding. I thought we transported to tomorrow. No, I'm this gonna I like this version of Apocalypse. This is my least favorite version of Apocalypse. Like I find it cool. It is him before he's become, but I prefer this version of Apocalypse to anything. Like this is to me the coolest version of him. I think I love the techno infused version, and throughout this one with the Nathan Summers story that they're playing in here, and I'm thinking, are they going to alter the future? And is Nathan going to become? Or no, that's in the future one. That's the other one. They were. I thought that he was going to become
Strife. Yeah, there's a version of Nathan that follows Apocalypse, and it's called Strife.
Yeah, I thought like they're talking the first one about coming. Oh, I thought that was-
Andre, you're underwater. We can't hear you right now.
Oh.
No, still underwater. Sorry about that. Yeah, no, if I remember correctly, I'm just looking it up now. Nathan Summers. I believe Strife. Yeah, there is Nathan Summers is indeed Strife. Come on, Ed, you can type. Yeah, there we go. Strife. Yeah, so the Nathan Summers who ends up taking over the techno-organic virus and becoming a villain is Strife. And Strife looks like this. Hold on. Share screen. Strife. Oh, hold on. Gotta add it.
Oh, he's Thor.
Damn you ads.
He's Thor.
Yeah. He's a version. He's not. There we go.
Looks like Thor. He looks like Loki. The horns and everything.
Good God, this website sucks. There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's the version of, if we get the version of Cable that ends up, of Nathan Summers that ends up following Apocalypse as opposed to ruining him, we would then indeed get Strife.
No, but I'll say this: of all the episodes I watched, and I rewatched them all earlier. This is the one I have the least thought to, but again, I'm waiting because the entire, especially in the rewatch, and seeing if as soon as the episode come on, I'm like, okay, I'm not getting the finish of the story. And I think that also kind of, so I sit there watching it, and yeah, I'm just like, okay, great, okay, and again, it was good. It's my least favorite version of Apocalypse. So again, this one just didn't hit for me. I don't know what it was.
I think getting weekly episodes going forward here is going to be tough as well. At least, I mean, like I said, I didn't watch all three at once, but I think going forward, we're only going to get a 30-minute episode each week. And I think it's going to be, I don't want to say difficult to sort of get attached to anything. So this might be one of those things that I may wait and watch all three episodes right before we do the next show all together as one block as well. So I can just have it a little more fresh in my mind, because I feel like they're all going to start to flow together a little bit more. That feels like where the storyline is going after this part one of, I was going to say part one of episode 3, but you know what I mean? So yeah.
So it's not necessarily that they drop a part one at the end of the season. I think it makes sense if you're going to do 2 parts to do it here. But more importantly, I think it's important to do it because they wanted the first 3 episodes to set up the season. So they wanted future, present, past. They wanted to start as far away as they can and then come back, because I think this is going to be the point where we start going from, this is where everything changes. So now we have the change from En Sabah Nur not being a good guy to being the evil villain, which is going to create the rise of Apocalypse. So that's where we get this. And I think that's why there's a 2-part here, which is why next week's episode, and again, we're going to go over all of the episodes. July 8th, we get Rise of Apocalypse Part 2. On July 15th, we are apparently getting Weapon X, Lies, and DVDs. So I think that'll be interesting and fun, where we're going to
feel like that's going to be a flashback partially for some of Wolverine's origin stuff, maybe.
Potentially, or it could just be expanding the Weapon X project, because we have seen that we're getting Deadpool in this season. So I think this is where we start seeing Deadpool, because that's not more. That's that I was going to say, one of the Weapon X's is indeed one of the weapons as part of the Weapon X program is indeed Deadpool. Episode 6 coming July 22nd, which will be the next time we'll go live about this, will be towards the end of July. So probably the 25th, 26th, somewhere in there, probably either that Thursday or that weekend. and that will be Danger.exe, which is obviously leading us to what we've already seen with the mutant Danger being introduced into the fray.
Oh, I was scared about that episode because I thought we were going to get another one where it's like that weird, creepy alien putting people into video games or stuff and they making them compete. I thought we were going to get if it's actually Danger, I'm down. Okay, I was worried because I thought that's what we were getting. I'm like, oh, please God, don't let it be that.
Yeah,
I had in my head.
Danger.exe is Danger is an actual mutant, and we've seen Danger in the pre-release stuff from the commercials. So Danger will indeed be its own character, would have its own episode. And then finishing out
.exe that messed me up, that made me think, crap, we're getting more back to Planet Mondo, I think it was.
Mojo.
Planet Mojo. Yeah, Mojo. I just didn't want to go back to Mojo.
And then the final 3 episodes releasing the week of Spider-Man Brand New Day. We're getting Savage Land, Savage Heart, which is episode 7. That'll release on July 29th.
That's gonna be a rogue-centric episode.
Really? Savage does it does.
Well, Rogue in the Savage Lands.
Yeah, sarcasm.
Oh,
sorry.
I thought you were serious. I'm like, what are you talking
about? No. Very, very much sarcastic.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Episode 8, August 5th, The Dead Man's Hand, which should be our introduction to the brand new. Because we've taken out...
It's Jonah Hex.
No. There we go. Much better.
Do we actually think we're getting Gambit back? We're not getting Gambit as Gambit back, though, right?
No, Horseman of Death.
Yeah.
We're getting... The only horseman we're currently missing right now is a Horseman of Death. We have 3 horsemen currently, and we have Warrington, who is working with Cable, who is the former Horseman of Death. So yeah, we will be getting a new Horseman of Death. It will be Gambit, because Gambit has in the comics been the Horseman of Death before, and we triggered this when this has been already alluded to in season 1. When after the death of Gambit, we had the skeleton version of Gambit in Charles Xavier's classroom when he was dealing with the aliens on the ship. The bird people. Yeah. So we have that. So they've already given us a pretty good acknowledgement. On top of, at the very end of the season 1, Apocalypse grabs the playing card. And it's the burned up Queen of Hearts. And then, of course, August 12th, the final episode, which means that these 2 lovely people will be back the week of that episode to be going ahead and talking about Survival of the Fittest. That airs on August 12th. I am currently moving in between episodes 8 and 9, so I will most likely be unavailable for that show. But these 2 lovely people will be here to talk all things end of X-Men season 2.
I'll take
with Savage Land, Savage Hearts, The Dead Man's Hand, and Survival of the Fittest.
Okay. Yeah, again, I look forward to seeing what's coming. Like, it's the first episodes, all 3 were good. I had different levels of what I liked from each one, but I'm excited to see where this goes because season 1 was very good. Now season 2, like I was, again, like I talked about this before, I was at the Comedy Expo here in Edmonton last year, and I went to a panel of one of the artists that worked on the original season, and he's working as a consultant on this one. And he said, "You're not going to believe what you're going to, like, the stuff you're going to see in this next season is going to blow your mind." So I'm like, I'm ready for this. I cannot wait to see what's coming because there's going to be some cool ass shit. There's got to be some cool ass shit coming in the next few episodes.
And so, just to put it in perspective, on Rotten Tomatoes, X-Men 97 as a whole has 99% in total on critics and 91% on popcorn meter, with about 25 critic reviews and a little over, I believe, 100 fan reviews. They're at 100% for critics on season 2 for the first 3 episodes, and they're at 91% for the fans as well again. So,
is that broken down into the first 3 episodes, or did the critics get?
I believe the critics got 3 to 4 episodes. I think they got all 4 episodes. Jamie, you alluded to the fact that you've seen more than we did. Do you have access to episodes? And if so, how many did you get?
I was more wondering if the critics score was based on just what's available to the public or if it's based on everything that they've seen, because those are two very different things, but also 99% or whatever it is, either way is incredible.
Yeah, I believe the critics are available to everything. I mean, basically, it would be up to them with however they want to do it. Rotten Tomatoes does break it down, but I don't see any breakdown beyond just the first 4. Okay, so he does have. I'm assuming that means he's seen the episodes and he's seen part 4.
Yeah. I thought you were supposed to be really good friends with Peggy, and if you are, why haven't you gotten her that episode?
Because
and
he wants
that
to.
We're good friends with her. We should get that episode too.
One, if I did, I wouldn't tell you that I saw it.
I was gonna say I'm not going to be the reason that Jamie loses his access to anything.
Joking. I don't expect him to give us anything. I'm kidding here. It's a joke.
No, I know. I agree. But I'm just also saying I would never, even knowing he has it, never bother to ask. I would just be like, should I be excited? Should I be scared? Are the only thing I would ever ask.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that would be something that a non-disclosure agreement would be prohibiting.
Yeah.
I know you can't talk about a lot of it, but now that the first 3 episodes are out, the non-disclosure agreement is basically null and void because they basically just say don't tell anybody about the 4th episode.
Yeah.
Because I know what was it? I think it was Daredevil that I think some critics had almost the entire series for season 2.
I think Jamie did have all of it except for the last 2. Yeah, something like that. So
yeah, I was gonna say because I remember there were a lot of people who were saying they were making their Easter egg breakdowns in advance because they had been given so much for Daredevil Born Again season 2 that they were able to really get in depth and have things ready to go because like New Rockstars normally takes at least 24 hours to get an Easter egg breakdown down depending on you didn't get the final 2 episodes. Okay. So yeah, I mean, it's good to have friends who know those kinds of things, but at the same time, if you do have those friends, don't exploit those connections because you want them to keep getting those great
I'm joking. To all those other, I'm joking.
We just don't want one random person from Marvel being like, oh, this Jamie guy did nope.
Especially since he's under his business name on here.
Yeah, since it's under the actual Perio Magazine Twitter YouTube account. Andre, tell the good people what you've got going on coming up in the near future.
I got a new episode of Pop Spot dropping over on Backbreak Video, talking about the Monster Pro Wrestling show that I was at last night. I'll be chatting all about that later in the next couple of weeks. So we have a new episode of Pop Spot Presents. Scheduled right now, it will be Nasty Nate Nixon, local independent professional. So we'll chat with him about the career he has had this last decade or so. So we'll chat all about that, and then I'll
ask him what kind of mustache waxes he wears because he's got like the best mustache.
He does, and then actually tomorrow morning I'll be back here chatting all about the day 1 of the World Cup of round of 16 and Canada's exit from the tournament. I will also be chatting F1, and I should be watching a race while we're talking because the race starts at 8 a.m. my time. And we're going live at 9 my time, so I'll be actually watching a race while we're chatting. So, yeah.
And while Jamie's here, we should indeed plug Jamie Apps Media and all his work on Perio Magazine because he does fantastic work, and him and Peggy do fantastic watch-alongs of AEW Dynamite every Wednesday night. Peggy is back now doing the Dynamite watch-alongs. She had taken a bit of a break, but she's back now. So,
and I had full eye roll mode activated this week. So, yeah, it was a good one. Yeah, definitely. We've seen yours, and Nate's is better. Yeah. So where you can find me, more importantly. Yes, you can find me on Wednesdays. Wednesday evenings, North American time, Thursday mornings in Australia on Perio Magazine doing the Dynamite watch-alongs. Yes, I am back. And for now, we'll see. We'll see how it works out. You can find all of my reviews on opheliapain.com. I dropped 4 reviews in the last few days. One of them is taking off and it's scaring me. So because I usually get single digit views and I've got over 40 views on this one. So I don't know what's happening. And so it's exciting and scary. Yeah, mostly everything else you can find me over on my social media, _Ophelia_Pain on Twitter. And yeah, see what I'm up to.
Also, Peggy won a new game, so very excited to see a review on that one coming
You
up.
did. Duck Side of the Moon. Very clever name.
That sounds
very
fun.
excited. I was gonna say, I saw the thing and I'm like, that sounds fun. I want that game. So
yeah,
very
I have to wait to get the code because I asked for a Switch code. Okay. Yeah. So a little bit of outdoor gaming. So that's nice.
There we go. You can find me at all these places, but what I do don't matter. What we want you to do is follow our local establishment at our Ole Podcasts on all your favorite social media platforms, OLE Podcasts. And on YouTube and Twitch, you can find us at our local establishment, where we are first level of monetization on both sides. So if you want to drop us a super chat and support us financially on the YouTube side, we would appreciate that. Otherwise, just go ahead and leave us, if you want to just support us for free, leave us a like on all the videos. Go ahead and leave a comment on these videos. Go ahead and subscribe. We're at 900 plus subscribers now. You can also go watch the short from the Supergirl thing and go ahead and tell the incels on our comments to go fuck themselves, essentially what Peggy told them to do later. So we'll have that short up within the next couple days. But yeah, you can go ahead and find all of that at our local establishment or Ole Podcasts on all your favorite social media platforms. There you can find Ring Respect Radio. You can go ahead and find Noah Unleashed. You can go ahead and find Marvel Talk. You can go ahead and find Taking Over. Me and Asher have a brand new episode of Taking Over from this past Thursday, where we went ahead and talked all things Limitless Wrestling. And I had to sadly shill for AEW on an our local establishment broadcast. Cannot believe I had to do that. Because
really?
Limitless Wrestling is part of my AEW now. So going forward, a lot of their content is going to be located there. So I unfortunately had to shill for AEW and tell people to go find an AEW product. So that made me feel dirty, and I had to take a shower as soon as that show was over. Peggy playing games in the pool. I mean,
basically, yeah.
I don't know if I'd play games in the pool, but that's because I'm a Butterfingers and I'd probably drop the Switch. But, it is what it is. No, not one of you. That's not one of you. No.
You're one of us.
No.
You are.
I watch independent wrestling only now. I have not watched a full episode of any contracted wrestling since I literally went to Bound for Glory last year in Lowell.
Ed is a wrestling hipster, is what he's saying.
No, I
only watch indie stuff, and I watched it before it was cool.
No. I definitely didn't watch indie stuff before it was cool. I was definitely after that bubble. But I refuse to watch AEW for a variety of reasons, and I refuse to watch WWE for the most blatant of fucking reasons why I don't watch WWE anymore. So it's one of those things where it's like, there are very plain reasons why I don't watch that one. The AEW reasons are very petty and boring. But the WWE ones are very blatant and obvious as to why I don't support that company anymore. With the exception of AAA, because I do love watching subs in AAA. So I'm a bit of a
greatest booker of all time, The Undertaker.
I mean, he's making a case for it. I've thoroughly enjoyed everything he's doing now. But for myself, for these two wonderful people, including the Empress of our local establishment and SIP number 2, I am SIP number 1, OLED. Thank you for joining us. We'll see you next time. Bye.